Welcome back, everybody. It is Tracy at Tracy Tries Journaling and Filling Bookshelves, and today we are going to do a flip through of this journal, this new fabric covered journal that I've made. I actually received a huge bag of what this lady called repurposed vintage or reclaimed vintage fabric is what she called it. So I think I have 5 different kinds. A couple are big, huge pieces that I'm going to sell because I'll never use, and it's heavyweight upholstery fabric. So it's just beautiful. Now, this one, oh, and I have to tell you, I just learned how to crinkle seam binding yesterday. I was pretty proud of myself. Now I know what the use for seam binding is, but look how fun is that? And it was very hard to decide on a closure for this book, but isn't this fabric just gorgeous? Yeah, and I love the colors too. All right, so this is a vintage book. I think it's from the 30s. I'm not sure. I might have pages in here from it. It wasn't that of an exciting book at all, but it fit my needs. Actually, I think it was a gardening book. A gardening book with no pictures. Yeah, that's really going to inspire me. So we have in here, you can see it's going to be a theme very similar to what the cover is, some browns and oranges and blues. And I have used a spring kit from Gardy at Blackwork on coffee, however you like to say it. So you'll see some of her digitals throughout, and I'm sure I'll forget to give credit to some other marvelous designers that are out there that I may have used some of their digitals in here. So I know that's Flo and Fauna. So that little tiny piece. See, I'll give credit where credit's due. So on the inside cover, this is scrapbook paper. Really, really heavy scrapbook paper that as soon as you cut it in half, or sorry, as soon as you fold it in half, it cracks. But it's good for tags and things like that. So that's what I use it for. Here we have some paper ribbon that I've just used as a little tuck for this photo. Now this is glued in, just a little piece of fabric there, and a rusted safety pin. And I'm not sure, I don't think that's a date on the back of that picture, but I just think it's so cool. Like, you wonder if they're going to a wedding or to church, or in those days it may just have been like out for lunch, all dressed up. That's what I love. So we got that on page 1. And on the back of this page, we have, this is another piece of, actually this is from Kathy at Greek Chick. And this is vintage or antique ticking. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Just another little tiny piece of like a trim behind there. We've got a rusted safety pin and, you know, just little things that you can add to a dangle. And here is some embossed watercolor paper. And I just think it's beautiful. So on this page, we just got some tracing paper to add to this tuck with a rusted safety pin. And in here, this is a fake envelope, but it looks really good with, and I added this stamp on it. So I think I printed this on newsprint. It's like a grayish brown newsprint, so it feels like it's really old and thin, like these envelopes, some of these envelopes would have been. And this is a page from a French, I think it's a French children's book. Yes, it says Quand vous avez. So, La fouille de école du dimanche. Sunday school. She goes to Sunday school. Some vintage music paper here. This is some tracing paper. And here again, what I used in another journal, I had one tag of it. You'll see these throughout. I love these just as a little file. What do you call those? File tabs, flip tabs, tabs. So on this page, we have this tiny little iron hook to remind you that this is a page to open. And this is a really big Greek something or other, and I'm wondering if it was school, something for school, because it's like things are underlined and written, so I don't know, but I love the way the typing looks. And this is from Gardy's kit too. It's just got some muslin at the top with some old dictionary page on the back, and this is coffee dyed paper that it's on. Just a little tiny stencil here with some postage stamps in the brown theme and some more dictionary page. This is, I think it's called, is it called mulberry paper? And here on this page, this is just a little receipt from French from April of 1938, and I don't know what it's for. It's something like representation, consignation. We. And I just added some wee tiny, I think these are called seed beads, on this mini paper clip. And this is, I've done this before, it's atlas pages that I've put in the die cut and then waxed them. And this is a coffee dye. This is a stationery paper, heavier stationery paper that I've coffee dyed with a fern stencil. And in here, this is a sampool, just backed with coffee dyed piano paper. And this is from, it must have been covered up on the other side. Oh no, we go through. This is from the books that my friend Heather gives me from the advertising magazine from 1912. And this is just a leftover piece of ledger. So this is from the kit. It's beautiful. And I just wanted to leave it as is because it's so pretty, but I just did add some trim across just to break it up a little bit. And the ledger in here, we've taken the back of a vintage airmail envelope, and I just made it into a pocket with an up tuck with some coffee dyed end papers on the back, and I just run some texture paste on that. And here we've just got a little tag here, and we have a really beautiful stamp that I thought was really pretty there. And this is from a napkin, and that's on the mulberry paper. This is a tiny bit of leftover ledger, and I couldn't throw it away, so I just thought it would make a cute tab. Is that what you call them? Tabs? So on this coffee dye paper, I just made a tuck, and I just ran the punched it. Sorry. And I had a leftover envelope. So what I've done is I've put it on both sides, and so you have a tuck on both sides, and I just added a little tiny piece of leftover ledger there with a die cut, a stamp, and a mini dotty. And here we have some more of the vintage music paper. And on this page, we have another one of those tabs. And this is some embossed, I think it's just cardstock. And I've just done a tiny bit of distressing on it just to sort of bring it out. This is cheesecloth from the little girl's dress I told you about in a previous journal. This is a sample stamp. And in here we have a tag from the kit with a little bit of muslin on the top. And this is, I don't know if I have the date on this. Sorry, I have my fingernails. They all broke off on me. So this is from 1951, and it's from To Dearest Verna, Clayton, and Marjorie. and it's from Fort Crampole. So it's obviously a letter during, while someone's deployed or based somewhere. So this is an Amity Bloom printable that I have done on coffee dyed paper, and it just looks so good. They're absolutely amazing. And this is part of Gardy's kit again. And I've just added a little stamp here because there was empty space, but there's still space to write. And you can see that I've used this paper that I've used in another journal as the signature to bind it in. Isn't this blue great? Yeah, I love it. So just some dictionary paper with some great photos on it. And this is Antique Ledger from 1866. And, that must be 69, sorry. And here's another envelope. I didn't like what was on the front. It wasn't too appealing. The handwriting was not something that I'd use in a journal, but still it was a beautiful old vintage envelope. So I just turned it inside out. And so this is the flap that would be glued as the cover. And here's the old glue stains on there. I've just added a stamp up in here. And inside, I just got a little tiny orange lace on this. This card is a letter. It's French, and it's not legible to me, but I'm sure it's something really nice. So I'm not sure what the date or anything on there, but it came from Kathy at Greek Chicks, so it's old. But you can sort of see the inside of the envelope. Yeah. So just something to do if you have an old envelope and you don't like the way it looks, just turn it inside out. So here, this is end papers again, from a book that I've coffee dyed, and just a little bit of stencil on there. And here on, I took the surprise away, right? So I've just done a little collage with different papers and textures on here, added a little stamp and a little tab there, and inside is a beautiful watercolor picture from, I think it's from a book of Canadian painters. I can't be 100% sure if that's where it's from, but it's a beautiful, beautiful print. And on the back, I've made it into a pocket. So we have some tickets back here. And this is an old book page that I ran through the die cut machine, and it makes really great little tags too. So this is the, did I miss a page? No, this, because it's, never mind, talking to myself. We've got another vintage music page. So here's another of my coffee dyed blueberry pages. This is from, which is ironic, this book. Remember I said it's a gardening book with no pictures? Well, this was the picture. Okay, so there was maybe 4 black and white pictures. I'm a liar, but yeah. So I included it in there. So this is from, I'm trying to remember. I know Yvonne told me where this book might have been from, and I've forgotten. But yeah, and here we have from 1872. This is some sort of, I don't know if it's an insurance policy or it says quittance or for your contribute. I don't know. It's beautiful, gorgeous paper. And you can see the revision date on the paper is 1872. That's pretty cool. And that's original. Sorry. So there's the other book page. There's the other picture from the book that I told you about. Here's my, it almost looks eco-dyed, doesn't it? Yeah. You know, something that doesn't work out actually turns into something really nice. So here another piece of end paper. And in here, this is a printable, and I have to apologize. I don't remember who it's from, but it's somebody on Ko-fi or Coffee. And if I can try and remember, I'm really sorry, but look at how great this is. So I've just, it came with 3 different tickets or postcards or whatever they are. So I've just added a little reinforcement and tied it with this really pretty ribbon. Just tied them together, and on the back of them, I've just added a different stamp on the back of each one, and they fit right into there. So I thought this is pretty cool. So I will try and find, I started writing them all down, but now I can't find any of them. And I have to tell you a little issue I have about Coffee, Ko-fi, whatever it is. I don't like to gossip, or not gossip, excuse me, but raise issues during a walkthrough. But you used to be able to search for a creator, and now all of a sudden Ko-fi has decided that it's totally up to a creator whether or not you find them. You can't search for them. Like I would search for junk journalers because I wanted to learn from other junk journalers. Well, you can't do that anymore. Ko-fi is saying through their other social media sites, if they want you to see their Ko-fi, then they will list a link. Well, if I don't know who they are, how can I find them? Like, I bet 9 out of 10 of the people who are awesome creators that I use often are from Ko-fi. And now it doesn't, like if you want to find, say, maybe Gardy I Blackwork, she doesn't have Instagram. She only has YouTube. So if you didn't know what her account was called, how would you be able to find her? Okay, that's just, okay. So anyway, here's some more antique ledger. It's some dictionary page. So what I'm saying is, if you want to, like I told people, go to Ko-fi and search for Blackwork. Well, you can't do that anymore. So now you have to try and search for them on social media to find a link to get to them. And here, so these are from the kit. This is the spine, part of the spine from the book. I just included it there in a wisp, a tress. Just added a stamp on there. So on this is actually a page from a vintage photo album, little tiny photo album. So I took it out and I added it here, and I have another one of those photos that I showed you from before about Loch Ness. And so this is here. And then I had this leftover tracing paper, and I thought, like, ooh, why not try and pretend that this is a double exposed photo? And woo. So anyway, so I've just added it in here. I won't tuck it all back in while we're here, but just a little washi. And so it is a flip up for more journaling space underneath. And this is on, again, punched paper. And here we have some notebook, coffee dyed notebook paper. And this is, I don't know if it's antique or vintage. I think that says 1891. But look at the writing. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, 1891. So that's gorgeous. And I think I got this from Judy at Judy's Vintage. Oh, I swear sometimes, if you watch my thrift haul video from last night, you would think that I should be locked up because I didn't know whether I was coming or going. So anyway, this is a stencil coffee dyed piece of paper that I made into an envelope, and it's just on this coffee dyed tracing paper. And I love coffee dyed tracing paper because you get the crinkle, ASMR. So this is from that 1952 catalog that I got. If you remember, I showed you what I got from that lady when I bought some books from her. She gave me that catalog for free. So that's an authentic page in there. And here again, this is just some embossed cardstock. And here's another photo of, this is where Nellie perches when she comes out of the lock. Water. And this is some, I think this is antique German music paper. And here we have another one of those little tabs. This is from the gardening book. Now this isn't a photo. This is a layout. And now you can make a retaining wall. But I loved it. I just love the simplicity of it and the design and the font that was used in it. So that's there for you. And here again, I've taken another airmail envelope that was vintage, but the front really was nothing to write home about. And I've enclosed a calendar from 1952 from Buckingham Car Hire Service. But I think now it's called London Car Hire Service. But anyway, it's Season's Greetings. And here's a tag from the kit. And this is just some other tracing paper that I had printed on. So what I've done is I've used this envelope as a wraparound. So on this side, this is graph paper. It had the holes punched in it. So I thought it would be, it's so sunny, I can't see. I'm not used to sunshine here. I took some beads and I put it on this rusted safety pin. Added some fabric from the next journal I'm doing on here. And this is just another printable that was Madame Bloomer's Egg Saver. So I thought that pretty cute. So I just, oop, come back here, little one. Just tuck that little guy in there. And here's another tag with a piece of the same fabric that I used on the spine. So here's that. From the catalog again, here's the tracing paper. And now this is just a piece of tracing paper that I used this just to add on to this fold, this tuck, but it's ironic. It says 1898 and this paper is 1891. And I just realized that now. I had no idea. So more room to write. And if that isn't enough room to write, so I've taken, this is from a necklace, left over from a necklace. And so it was silver. So I just alcohol inked those to make it match more of the design. And this is rusted in rusting solution. And so here I've made, with one of these place cards that I've used before, just done a little collage and then added more room to write in the same sort of colors as the journal itself. And it's on this punched blueberry paper. Oh, don't ruin the punch, Tracy. There you go. Come on, scooch. Well, you're going to stay there for now then. No scoochie. Oh, and this was tucked in the back. And this is something about getting a special dividend from if you were in the service. So that's there. That's from the kit. So here's our last signature. And here we have some, this is from a vintage French book. And so it's coffee dyed as well. Here's more information from the, from this book, this gardening book. And so I've just taken this with these little, what are these, snaps? So I've just used it as a tab on the page, because why not? This is vintage I think it's French embroidery paper. I think it's my last piece, so I'm really sad. So we've got some more music paper, another one of those tabs. Here we have some, oh my God, ledger paper. This is the Amity Bloom printed on coffee dye paper again. And here I just had stenciled this with coffee, so it's just, I ripped off the edge and made a little tuck there. And this is a fussy cut from another gardening book, not this one. This is a 1945 date book page. And here, this is just brown craft paper. And this is embossed craft stock. I've added a little tiny piece of the fabric from the cover. And on this bulb pin, I just added these beads, and Molly just woke up. Hi, Molly. She can't see or hear me, so. And then in here we have this cigarette card, and it's Glasgow and southwestern section of the railroad, and it's the Imperial Tobacco Company. And here we have from the Canadian magazine advertiser, HP sauce is the best. I love HP sauce. And my grandpa and grandma always had camp coffee. And they always had Sanka. So here's from the cover of the next journal I'm doing. So this is piano paper that I've done the fern stencil on. And this is a little envelope from 1945 to Mike. And here is another one of those photos that I got. So there's like 3 or 4 of them in here too. So this canoe was overturned by Nellie. Yeah, she is a vixen. She is a vixen. And so there's that. And here's some texture paste here on the craft paper. There's the diary page. And here is just a page. I guess this was a big receipt or some sort that they used to use. So on this, for a tab on this ledger page, I actually used a matchbook. So I thought the colors sort of matched what the book was, and then this card, this playing card matched perfectly, and this map matched perfectly, and then the belly band just didn't fit in. So obviously the belly band was in there first, and then everything else was added in, but I think that's really cool. I love that. And here's another one of those tabs, the embroidery paper, how to graft a tree. And there's that and that. And here is a part from a vintage doily that I have that I pinned on with that rusted safety pin. And I just love this postcard. I love the sky. It looks so real. And it is the Westminster Bridge from 1872. This postcard is not from 1872. It's 1990. But yeah, love it. And then we come to the very last page, and this is a vintage little from the library of that I just added on. There's some just waxed paper behind it, and this is scrapbook paper. So that's the end of our journey. So if you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. This too will be available in my Etsy shop soon. It doesn't have a name. The other one was pink just because, and this might be just because brown. I don't know. Have a wonderful day, everybody. You're getting like so many videos. 3 days in a row you're getting videos from me. Don't get sick of me, please. My goal for the new year is it's April. My New Year's resolution, which I just came up with like last week, is to make a non-tutorial tutorial episode. So I've never done a tutorial. I don't think I'd be really good at a tutorial, but maybe like a, hey, let's craft together and maybe learn something. Let me know if that would be something that you would be interested in. I would hope so, because I'd like to hang out with you more. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Puppy needs to go out. Talk to you soon. Bye.